As you all demanded, friends, that the lectures should be delivered in English medium, so from today onwards, I will be delivering whole of my lecture in English, and I will try that I don't utter a single word in Hindi. So, friends, our today's topic is Council of Ministers. Council of Ministers, I guess you have heard about it, but there are many things to be known about it. So, what is Council of Minister and why do we require it in our country? So, friends, I guess you must be remembering Article 53. I guess in Article 53 we have studied that all the executive powers will be use all the executive powers will be in the hands of president, but he will utilize them with the help of officers subordinate to him. So there we have studied that president is the executive head, but as we all have studied, the president is what executive head, but still he is not elected directly, he is elected indirectly. And since he is elected indirectly and India is a democracy, he cannot use his powers himself. So question should be raised in your mind, then who will be going to use these powers? So the powers will be used by Council of Ministers. The Council of Ministers will aid and advise the President, and on the basis of this advice, the President will follow his executive duties. But once again, a question should be arising in your mind that why the Council of Minister is getting these powers. So, friends, as we all know, we all elect. We are the citizens of country. As citizens, we have the power to vote. With the help of this voting power, we elect Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Among Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, the members of Lok Sabha are elected directly. The members of Lok Sabha chooses what? The members of Lok Sabha chooses the government, because there should be a number of peoples taking the decisions. The number cannot be huge, otherwise the decision taking process will become very lucrative. So the Lok Sabha elects what? Government amongst it. But for it, what does Lok Sabha chooses? The majority party. So Lok Sabha, among the Lok Sabha, there is a majority party. BJP is what? A majority party of the Lok Sabha. So BJP chooses what? BJP chooses its prime minister, and prime minister chooses what? Its ministers. For example, as we all know, Amit Shah, Rajnath Singh, Nirmala Sitasaran. These are all what? These are all hands of the prime ministers, or these are all the ministers of our country, or I should say union ministers or cabinet ministers of country. So prime minister chooses what? Minister. And this combination of prime minister and ministers together called UCOM. What I am saying, friends, try to listen it once more. It is together called UCOM, Union Council of Ministers. So this is our India's structure, and I guess you all are aware of it. But if it is followed in our country, then it should be written somewhere. So it is written in the Constitution, and it is written in the Article 74 and Article 75. I have seen that students get a lot confusion in understanding Article 74 and Article 75. So friends, let me make it a little easy for you. Article 74 must be read in light of Article 53. Article 74 is completely connected to Article 53. Please start reading what is written in Article 74. Article 74 of the Indian Constitution says that there will be a, mark my word, there will be a Council of Ministers with the Prime Minister at its head. Council of Ministers with the Prime Minister as its head. It means that the Prime Minister is first among the equals. What I am saying, the Prime Minister is first among the equals. Up first among the equals, what does it mean? It means that Prime Minister is also a minister. Prime Minister is also a minister, but still he is the first among other ministers, because he is the one taking decisions. How can I say that? This I will clear later on in the Article 75. So there will be a council of ministers with the prime ministers at its head to aid and advise president. It means that the president will work as per the advice of council of ministers. But try to understand it more deeply, that here it seems that the president is not subordinate to council of minister. The president, here it seems that the president is at a higher level than the council of ministers. That's why some more provisions are added in this article through 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. What it's adding, before understanding this, try to understand what was written previously. Previously, it was written that there will be a council of ministers to aid and advise president, who shall perform his duties as per the advice rendered by the COM. But it has been changed now, because as we all know, the president is subordinate to the council of ministers. So our constitution should also reflect the same thing. That's why a new constitution, or I should say a changed reformed constitution, says that the president shall act in accordance. Try to understand what I am saying. The president shall act in accordance with the aid and advice of council of ministers. It means that from the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, Indira Gandhi has made it mandatory for the president to work in accordance with the advice of council of ministers. The advice is now binding upon the president, and I guess this is the correct thing. But it is a very fascinating thing for you to know that in the 44th Constitutional Amendment that was done in 1978, and 42nd Constitutional Amendment was done in 1976, that in 44th Constitutional Amendment, Morarji Desai got the chance to reverse this situation as a prime minister, but he also found it correct. But for president's appreciation, he added one more thing, that the president has the power to reconsider the advice for once. It means that, for example, understand yourself as council of minister and me as president. If you as council of minister or prime minister Rajnath Singh etc. is giving me advice, then in that case I have the power to make you reconsider that advice for once. What I am saying, for once, because in a democracy the president should be following the council of ministers order. And I should tell you, there is only one president till now who has used this power, that is Gyani Jail Singh. And I guess you should read about Gyani Jail Singh on YouTube or any other platforms, because it is a very important one thing, because that will help you a lot in your mains. So Article 74 talks all about the president and COM relation. But what is Article 75 about? So try to understand one more thing. If we are talking about the powers and duties of some personals in the constitution, then their appointment should also be mentioned in the constitution. Therefore, in Article 75, the appointment of these persons is mentioned. So what does Article 75 says? It says that the PM shall be appointed by president and other ministers will be appointed by president in accordance with the advice given by PM. What does it mean? It means that the prime minister, the head of the ministers will be appointed by the president, and the prime minister will advise the president to appoint other minister. What it's trying to say? It is trying to say that all the ministers will be appointed by president only. All the ministers will be appointed by president only, but who to appoint? This decision will not be taken by president. This decision will be taken by prime minister. And I guess it is a correct thing to say, because as we have studied, the prime minister is being chosen by BJP, which is the majority party in the Lok Sabha. So he should be the one taking the decision who should become a minister in our country. I guess 74 or 75, both are pretty much clear to you. Now there should be a confusion in your mind, sir. Previously, the articles which you have taught, in that articles the format was little different, and the article which you are teaching today, This the other frame of this articles is little different. So try to understand, friends, the previous articles, the previous persons, president or vice president, what we have studied, their features like election, appointment, qualification, tenure, removal, etc. all were clearly mentioned because they were constitutional post, and our constitution maker B.R. Ambedkar wanted these articles, wanted these positions to be free from legislative and executive powers. But the ministers in our country, we follow democracy, as I told you. So in a democracy, the executive is answerable to the legislature. The executive is answerable to the legislature. So since executive is answerable to the legislature, so there is no need to mention things more very clearly, because all the ministers who are getting appointed, they are getting appointed on the basis of prime minister. So until and unless the prime minister is enjoying the confidence of the Lok Sabha, all the persons will get their tenure and other allowances and salaries, etc. What I am trying to say, understand. First of all, let us talk about qualification. What are the qualification for being a minister in our country? So if you want to understand it clearly, take an example of Manmohan Singh. We all know Manmohan Singh became the Prime Minister of India in 2004. And as I've told you previously in this lecture, a prime minister is itself what? He is itself a minister. So the minister, I am talking about now prime minister. I guess you all should be understanding this, that the prime minister, the head of government, should be a member of parliament. So it is a condition, it is a qualification of prime minister or any minister, that he has to be a member of either house of the parliament, that is Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. But you will be amazed to know that Manmohan Singh was not a member of parliament when he was made prime minister in 2004. He was not a member of parliament when he was made prime minister in 2004, because it is written in article 75 that if a person is not member of either house of the parliament, then also he can become the prime minister. But the condition which he has to follow is he has to become the member of parliament in 6 months. So there is given some relaxation for becoming a minister in our country. So this is a thing which some persons like about it, that a person can become a minister still if he is not a member of parliament. But some prime ministers or some people have taken disadvantage and misuse of this power also. Many people have become ministers, still they are not part of member of parliament. A question should be arousing on your mind, sir, the Lok Sabha elections are already being taken, and that's why the prime minister is made na. In 2004 or 2019, the Lok Sabha elections were already over. That's why the prime minister was made. So after the Lok Sabha elections, how will a person become member of parliament in just 6 months? Because the Lok Sabha elections take place after every 5 years. So I can clear this doubt with the help of giving you a concept to study, that is by-election. It is called Up-Chunav in Hindi. So by-elections, these elections take place when there is discrepancy in any Lok Sabha constituency, like a Bangalore in 2019, or if there is a death, resignation, or any other reason for the vacancy made due to random circumstances. So if there is a vacancy or discrepancy, then in both the cases, vacancy and discrepancy, both the cases, what can happen? By-election can take place, and these by-election can take place at any time, any year. So, and other than that, the Rajya Sabha elections take place every 2 years. So if the by-elections of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha are not available, then the Rajya Sabha elections are also one thing, because the Rajya Sabha elections take place every 2 years. Why they take place every 2 years? I will clear you this in the upcoming articles. I guess qualifications are pretty much clear to you. Now moving ahead, let's come to tenure. According to Article 75(2), there is nothing to be told about tenure, because you should be understanding that the member of parliament has a tenure of 5 years, or I should say the member of Lok Sabha has a tenure of 5 years, and a member of Rajya Sabha has a tenure of 6 years. So if you are talking about the tenure of minister, it should also be 5 year or 6 years. So you are mistaken, my friend. The tenure of minister is not 5 year or 6 years. He works according to the pleasure of president. Means that president can remove the minister at any time. So what are you talking? Is this really possible? Is it correct? Yes, it is correct. How so? Try to understand. Minister is a power. Minister is a post which is added in addition to your Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha membership, and it has its power. This power has been given to you on the basis of the trust of Prime Minister. But if you are working like A Raja 2G is 2G scam. E Raja was the telecom minister at the time of 2G scam. So when allegations were put against him, he was removed from his post on an immediate basis. Why so? If he wasn't removed on an immediate basis, then in that case, the fingers will be pointed not at A Raja, the fingers will start pointing towards whole government, whole council of minister. And the prime minister at that time, Manmohan Singh, that is, didn't wanted that. So A Raja was removed with immediate effect. So the prime minister shall hold office during the pleasure of the president. But sir, we are getting confused. At one place you are saying prime minister removed A Raja, and one place you are teaching us that the minister shall hold office during the pleasure of president. So don't get confused. It is all the same. President will appoint, president will remove, but the advice will be given by, the decision will be taken by prime minister. Try to understand, president is the Raja. President is the Raja who works according the prime minister. And I guess now it is clear to you that the ministers have no tenure in our country. Sir, where it is all written? So let me tell you, the things which I explained you in this page in extra, these are written in Article 74, and the things which I explained you here, qualification and tenure, these are written in Article 75. And I guess now it is very much clear. Sir, but I want to know, we have read many times in the paper, let me repeat it once again, the tenure of minister is not fixed. He works as per the pleasure of president. President के प्रसाद पर निर्भर. In Hindi, I should say that. Now come to the next thing, note. What is written in the note? So, friends, I guess a thing should be made in your mind. Sir, minister, as we all know, minister is very powerful. A minister has a lot more facilities than a Lok Sabha member or Rajya Sabha member. A minister has his own bangla and his own private vehicles and lal batti and all. The minister has a lot more powers as compared to a Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha member. So everyone should be wanting to become a minister. And you are saying Prime Minister Narendra Damodar Das Modi has the power to make even me, a minister in the country. So how many ministers can be made? Because if the prime minister has this power, he should be making a decision of making all the BJP personnels a minister. So this is not like that, friends. This was a problem faced by Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was a previous prime minister. He has made government with a coalition, Mili Juli Sarkar in Hindi we called it. So Mili Juli Sarkar coalition party was made by coalition government was made by Atal Bihari Vajpayee. But the problem which we faced was, as a coalition was involved, every party was forcing him to make their members as a minister. But as we all know, if the around 790 members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha all become the ministers, then there will be a huge sum of burden on our treasury, and it will also be not correct. So that's why his government decided to make an amendment in the constitution in 2004 through 91st Constitutional Amendment Act, that the 15% members of the Lok Sabha, 15% members of Lok Sabha can only be made a minister. Okay, the size of Council of Minister cannot be made more than 15% of the Lok Sabha. And if we calculate it, 15% of 543, then it will be around 80. So the ministers cannot be more than 80. Sir, we are pretty much clear about it, but still we have a question in mind. What kind of ministers are there in a country? So friends, there are three types of ministers. One is cabinet minister, second is minister of state, third is deputy minister. Sir, we are very confused among these. We have no idea what is the difference between them. We always just knew that minister. So try to understand, friends. Cabinet minister is a minister who is the most powerful minister. He has a ministry under him. Cabinet minister is a minister who controls a ministry. Sir, example. So you tell me who is the finance minister of our country? Definitely, it is no one else, Nirmala Sitharaman. Now tell me, who is the defense minister of our country? Definitely, Rajnath Singh. And who was previously education and now textile minister of our country? Definitely, Smriti Irani. And who is the let it be now. Comment section में please answer in the comment section which ministry is held by Amit Shah in our country, and I guess everyone know it. ठीक है, तो sorry, Hindi. Cabinet minister, minister of state and deputy minister. So cabinet ministers are the ministers who had the ministry under them. They can be called in Hindi Purana Chawal. Okay, Rajnath Singh, Nirmala Sitharaman, Smriti Irani, they all are what, friends? They are Purana Chawal, who know a lot about politics and other things like that. Now continue it. Other than cabinet minister, there are ministers of state. Ministers of state are the ministers, friends, who work under the cabinet ministers. Okay, sir, what do you mean by that? For example, if we talk about defense, finance or home ministry, these are pretty huge ministries. These ministries cannot be controlled by a single person only, because a lot of the work needs to be distributed. So cabinet ministers have ministers under them. Sir, what is the difference between cabinet minister and minister? So there is a very clear difference. The cabinet ministers are the persons closest to the prime minister. They all sit in the cabinet room. Okay, and ministers of state are the persons who work under these cabinet ministers. But what about some persons who are not Purana Chawal, but still they are very influential? For example, friends, Jyotiraditya Scindia or Rajyavardhan Rathore. These are very much influential persons. These persons cannot work under a cabinet minister because it will be a kind of insult for him. So what about them? So they are given with an extra power, friends, minister of state with independent charge. Sir, what do you mean by independent charge? Independent charge means, friends, they will also be leading a ministry. For example, before 2014, Jyotiraditya Scindia was leading Vidyut Mantralaya, okay, electricity ministry, and Rajyavardhan Rathore, not presently but previously in BJP government, he was leading sports ministry. So they are the ministers with independent charge. Sir, then what is the difference between a cabinet minister and minister with independent charge? So friends, he is a he has the powers in middle of minister of state, no independent charge, and cabinet minister. Sir, but still, what is the difference? The difference is he will not be able to sit in the cabinet room until and unless he is called by the prime minister. So his designation, his powers will be same as the cabinet minister, but his designation, his post will be junior to cabinet minister. Okay, sir, we get it all. Sir, what about deputy minister? So, friend, deputy minister is called is like a trainee. For example, if I was to be made a minister in the council of minister in our country, yeah, stop laughing. I understand it is not possible, but still, just imagine it. It has been done. So I cannot be made a cabinet minister, minister of state, or minister of state, no independent charge, because the thing is, I have no experience in politics, and since I have no experience in politics, I cannot be made minister of state. Then what about me? In that case, I will be made deputy minister, that is a trainee in the BJP government. And I guess it is all clear to you now. इसे we can call it in Hindi नया चावल. Okay, friends. So the cabinet minister, I think I should write it down. Cabinet minister is पुराना चावल. I am sorry, I am not able to remember the word naya chawal and purana chawal in English because it will be pretty funny. New rice, old rice. Okay. Chal, let's continue. Friends, you are clear with everything related to Council of Ministers till now. But there is a one thing which is very important, not from the perspective of pre, but from the perspective of means, that is collective and individual responsibility. I have seen that students get a lot of confusion in this collective and individual responsibility. So first understand collective responsibility, friends. I know our constitution first says about individual responsibility, but for making it clear, first I want to explain you collective responsibility. So as we have studied, India is a democracy, and democracy is a government by the people. In democracy, a government should be in democracy, a rule should be by the people, for the people, of the people. Okay, it's fine. In democracy, we have chosen two houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and we all know Lok Sabha is the one directly elected by us. So Lok Sabha is the one directly elected by us, so definitely it should be very powerful. That's why Lok Sabha's majority party BJP got the power of making a government that is Council of Minister. So the Council of Minister should be answerable to whom, you according to you? Definitely it should be answerable to Lok Sabha, because it is the house which is directly elected by us. But sir, what is the need of making it responsible towards Lok Sabha? So friends, try to understand. We all have made Narendra Damodar Das Modi as a prime minister of a country. Actually, I am not saying the right thing. We all have made BJP as the majority party of our country, and we have given them the power to make a government. But what if this government becomes a dictator? What in that case? So we didn't want this to happen. That's why in our constitution itself we have said that the Council of Minister should be answerable to Lok Sabha. Sir, it is very much bookish. We are not able to understand what you are trying to say. I mean to say, friends, if a policy made by the Prime Minister is not found worthy that he is also answerable in the Lok Sabha, there are question hours in the Lok Sabha in its first 2 hours. In the first 2 hours of the Parliament or Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, the ministers are called upon to give answers for the implementation of their policies. For example, Rafale. We all know Rafale is a very much hyped topic in the Parliament. I should not say is very much, was very much. today's at present the very much high topic in the parliament is corona only. So in corona, during corona implementation of Pradhan Mantri Fund, PM Care Fund, if there is any discrepancy and if there is any issue, then the ministers are called in the Lok Sabha to ensure the establishment of democracy. Sir, we are clear with COM is responsible towards Lok Sabha, but still sir, what do you mean by collectively? This collectively word makes us a little confused still. So try to understand what is the meaning of collectively. Collectively means that they all are together responsible towards Lok Sabha. Sir, is still not clear. So try to understand friends, B.R. Ambedkar was law minister when the first parliament was made, and B.R. Ambedkar was in favor of Hindu code bill, but the other ministers were not agreeing to it. So B.R. Ambedkar, since he made the constitution, he was very clear about the technicalities of the constitution. So he knew that if he didn't resign from the, if he didn't give his resignation from the Council of Ministers, then it will be considered, that he is also against Hindu code bill. Sir, what was Hindu code bill? Hindu code bill was a bill which came into light by B.R. Ambedkar to give right to the women's in a Hindu society. So if B.R. Ambedkar wasn't able to bring this bill and the other ministers were not agreeing on this bill, and still he become a part of ministry, then it will be considered that he is also against this Hindu code bill, or he is also against the rights of the Indian women. So that's why he gave his resignation, because all ministers own joint responsibility to the Lok Sabha. And as a minister, if you are not agreeing with the decision of the prime minister or other minister, then you should give your resignation to show that you do not agree with their decision. That's why it is said COM is collectively responsible towards the Lok Sabha. If a decision is taken by the prime minister, then it is not the decision of prime minister, it is the decision of whole council of ministers. And if the Lok Sabha is not satisfied with the policies of the government, then they can brought no confidence motion against them. J. Kripalani was the one who brought the first no confidence motion, and that also against whom you want to know. So that also against Jawaharlal Nehru. Sir, Jawaharlal Nehru was a great PM. So why no confidence motion was brought against his government? So try to remember friends, we were going through very tough circumstances during 1960s. We got a war with China, and there were drought situations also coming in our country. That's why there were many members of Lok Sabha who became rival of the present government, then government. Oh, sorry, not present government, then government. That's why no confidence motion was brought against Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay, sir, collective responsibility is pretty clear. Sir, but what about this next one? Individually responsible. So try to understand friends, this you have already understood. We had talked about A Raja. So as I told you, if A Raja is working mischievously, he is not doing his duties, then in that case, the Lok Sabha can make a demand to dismiss A Raja as a minister. So in that case, as I have taught, the Prime Minister has the power to dismiss A Raja as a minister. So if A Raja has to be appointed or dismissed, then this advice has to be rendered by Prime Minister, and the removal has to be done by the President. So if we talk about a single minister, if we talk about an individual minister, then he is individually responsible to the executive or president. In return, president in practicality prime minister. But if we talk about the whole COM, so the COM, Council of Minister, is collectively responsible towards the Lok Sabha. So what is the connection? Consider the prime minister at that point of time, that is Manmohan Singh, do not get agree with the decision of dismissing A Raja. He also started supporting A Raja. Then the Lok Sabha can lose trust in the Council of Minister, that the A Raja is not corrupt, whole Council of Minister is corrupt. That can be thought by the Lok Sabha. So in that case, if the Prime Minister is not using his individual responsible power, then the Lok Sabha can practice the collective responsible power. So if a single minister is to be dismissed, then it is to be dismissed by the Prime Minister. And if the whole ministry is to be dismissed, then it is to be done by Lok Sabha or the resignation of the Prime Minister. Because, sir, why Prime Minister? Try to understand. Prime Minister has appointed the ministers. So if the Prime Minister is not present, then definitely all the ministers have to give their resignations. Sir, all things we have understood, but still you have not explained the oath. So friends, as I told you, the president has the oath of preserve, protect and defend the constitution. The vice president has the oath to allegiance to the constitution. But the ministers have a very different oath. They have the oath of office and of secrecy. Sir, what do you mean by office and of secrecy? It means to say they will be obliged to perform all the duties of their office and secrecy. Sir, secrecy, what do you mean by secrecy? So try to understand, friend. If you are a minister in our country, it means that you have a huge bulk of powers, and you will be also able to access a lot of classified or secret information of our country. So you cannot say na that I have article 19, right to freedom of speech, so I can show all the classified and secret information of our country to the citizens of our country, or the rival countries or the rival countries of India. So that's why he has been given oath of office and of secrecy, that he will be making no disclosures. He will be making no disclosures on the secrets told to him as a minister of our country. There are some secrets which should always be kept in secret only. But where is it written? So friends, all the oaths are written, of all the ministers' oath and other many prominent members' oath are written in the third schedule. Sir, what is third schedule? So friends, the what is third schedule? This we will clear in our future classes. But at present, try to understand a simple thing, that the oath of maximum people and the oath of maximum prominent क्या कहते हैं constitutional posts in our country are being given in third schedule only. Okay, and I guess all the prominent things related to the Council of Minister is pretty clear to you. Now let's talk about the prime ministers of a country. These are the, as you can see on the screen, these are the prime ministers of a country made till now. First was Jawaharlal Nehru and the last was Narendra Modi. And as I have told you about president and vice president, there are also many prominent facts about prime minister too. The prominent facts about prime minister should also be seen by you, and they can be seen on the Wikipedia. So search prime minister list on Wikipedia. There are many fascinating facts which you should know about the prime minister. For example, the only acting prime minister of a country, या फिर I should say the person who was made acting prime minister for 2 times. So that is no one else, Gulzari Lal Nanda. Why he was made 2 times prime minister? So friends, understand, Jawaharlal Nehru and Lal Bahadur Shastri, both prime minister died during their tenure. So there was an immediate need of making another person as Prime Minister. So Gulzari Lal Nanda was made as a acting Prime Minister on the both the circumstances. And why he was made? Because he was one of the senior most members of the parliament and also a trustworthy person of the Congress party. And I guess it is very much clear to all. So friends, that's all for now. From today onwards, I will be taking all the lectures in English medium in this way only. If you have some more suggestions, then you can give them in the comment section. So tata, bye bye for now. We will meet tomorrow. Thank you.